Well, I'm out in the shop today and I'm running some production parts. In this week's video, we're going to talk about the ATC and where we stand today. It's been about 8 months since I've originally installed the ATC, and over that time I've been slowly addressing some of the issues that came up that I really just wasn't aware of in the beginning. Now, one of the first things that I noticed with the ATC was the consistency of the TTS tool holders. A few weeks ago I posted a video on TTS, OEM and non-OEM holders. I was running into an issue with the consistency between the tool holders. Now, the Tormach original tool holders are 1.5 inches in diameter, but some of the ER collets non-OEM holders that I was getting were up to 40 thousandths, 50 thousandths in diameter bigger, which was causing an issue with tools going into the tool fork. These non-OEM holders being real tight, and then the TTS holders felt really good in the tool fork. So I addressed that by turning all of these down and getting them all consistent. So that corrected that problem. It gave me just a little bit of in and out play, which is good to help align the tool in the collet. So that eliminated that particular issue. The second thing that I ran into with the ATC was the Geneva mechanism to rotate it. So originally you've got your Geneva gear here and your cam, and when it's in this position here, it locks it so that this doesn't rotate. However, this diameter right here and this radius right here have to be fairly tight. If not, you get just a little bit of side-to-side play, and then over the course of the diameter of the tool holders, that play was just too much. So I had to tighten that up, which I've done by machining a little cam here that goes over the Geneva wheel here, and this will wear. It's plastic, so I can get it really nice and tight in there, and it locks it really firm. Now, this is just something I came up with temporarily. I'm not sure if I make more ATCs, I'll probably remachine this a little bit bigger, or I may machine this Geneva wheel out of a material other than aluminum, because you don't want a real tight rub on aluminum to aluminum. So after remachining the Geneva cam and getting that side-to-side play, now I don't have any movement forward and backwards. This is really important because the way the TTS system works, there's not a whole lot of room for error, because you have to go into a 3/4 inch diameter, so you can't get to the side too much forward or backwards or anywhere in any direction, because the collet will hit on this flat spot, and when it does that, what it does is it forces the tool holder down instead of going into the, it doesn't just pop in like a BT or an ISO 20 type tool holder wheel. It'll just kind of pushes it down and bends it, or it will get it cocked, and then that will force it down, as you can see here. So as you can see, that's not very fun, and I've went through quite a few of these tool forks because of that issue, among others. So after correcting the front to back play with the Geneva mechanism and taking care of the TTS tool holders, it was out. That gives me tighter tolerance here for when the collet comes in and out. Of course, you have to make sure that the ATC and the spindle are completely vertical and aligned. You don't want it cocked in any direction, because when the tool goes in there it just kind of jams in there and then it'll bend the tool fork as well. So alignment is critical, but I think most people with ATC like this understand that alignment's critical. However, there were some of these other issues that we ran into that had to be addressed as well. Another issue I had was not knowing exactly what tool was where. They're not labeled, and I tried to print out some of these little labels, but you can see that the numbers just kind of wash off. So I went back and I engraved my disc here with the tool numbers so that it's permanently etched in there, and I can look in there and see, or look up underneath and see the tool number. One last piece to the puzzle to get this completely automated so I can kind of step away from the machine and have it run parts was the air pressure situation. My biggest thing was just my air supply. I run this Husky compressor here, which is nice. It puts out 180 psi. That's the cutoff. However, the cut on to recharge is around 135 psi. And in order for me to run the ATC with the 3-stage 80 millimeter air cylinder, I need it to be around 150 to 160 to give me the holding strength that I need. So I'm kind of in a predicament where anywhere between 160 and 135, which is the cutoff, it's not going to release the tool consistently. So what I ended up doing was I swapped over to a 100 millimeter 3-stage air cylinder, and also I added another pair of Belvilles. Now, having 4 sets of the Belvilles gives me about 10 thousandths, 20 thousandths more length, so that the collet will push down just a little bit more, and I can get it to open up a little bit bigger. That helped. Also, I can run the 100 millimeter 3-stage air cylinder at 120 psi, which is below my compressor cut on, and I don't have to worry about running into a situation where I didn't have enough air pressure when it tried to do a tool change, which was a real big problem with me. And I went through several tool forks trying to get this worked out, because the biggest problem is I forget to recharge the compressor before a tool change, and it bends the fork, or in this case you can see it just broke out the holding part. So luckily I haven't screwed up any tools or messed up any tool holders. However, I've went through about a dozen tool forks trying to sort through all of this. But I'm at a stage now where I've been running fairly consistently. I haven't had any issues. I've done a couple of 100 tool changes now, running parts. I'm doing a production run now, and it seems to be working really well. So let's take a look, and we'll see how she's running. so you can see the tool change is working really well. I'm really happy and satisfied with the way it's working currently. And as I said, I've got a couple of hundred tool changes on it with the revisions to everything. It's pretty consistent. My buddy Wyatt's running the similar setup, and he's having consistent results as well. So we're really happy with the overall way the ATC is functioning now. TTS tool changers, it's not a perfect scenario with just the design of the TTS tool holders and using the 3/4 inch collet. There's not a whole lot of room there for error, so you have to really be dialed in and in the center of the tool. Your air pressure has to be good. There's a lot of variables to make that system work consistently. It's not like a BT30 or an ISO 20 where you have a large taper just trying to grab the pull stud. So there's really a good bit to it, and in order to make these tool changers work well, everything has to be working properly. Now, one of the things I found out early on with the TTS system and the tool changers is there's a lot of videos out there of ATCs doing tool changes and everything looks perfect. But in reality, after going through this myself, I've realized that not everybody shows you some of the problems they have. They only want to show you when it's working correctly. But I think there's more problems out there with these tool changers than people want to let on to. Even the Tormach and their tool changers, I think there's issues with those as well. If you read some of the forums and some of the posts, a lot of people have issues with theirs as well, and these are some of the reasons why. Everything has to kind of align. The stars have to be aligned, and everything has to be perfect in order for your tool changer to work consistently. It's not something that's unattainable. As you can see, it can be done, but you just have to make sure that everything is working correctly, and you have to keep a check on everything. It's not as forgiving as some of the CAT or BT30, CAT 40, ISO 20, some of those tapers. The TTS system is just not as forgiving as that. So everything has to work really well and be really consistent in order to have the system working and functioning correctly. We're going to continue to monitor the ATC and test it out, make sure everything's functioning correctly, and we're hoping to be able to offer an ATC in the future, maybe this fall. Stay tuned, guys. In the next video, hopefully I'll be able to continue back on the Precision Matthews linear rail conversion. I've got a lot of things going on. I've got a lot of production parts I've got to run, so I just didn't have any time, and I always get kind of pulled away. So that's just kind of the way my life goes. Like many of you, I've got like several different projects going at once, and you know, each one is pushing and pulling. My daughter graduates in about 2 weeks, so I've got all that coming up. So it's just busy time of the year for me. Guys, if you're new to my channel and you're just tuning in, click on the subscribe button down below. That way when I post a new video, if it's something you're interested in, you can stop by and check it out. As always, please feel free to ask questions, make suggestions, or leave comments. Thumbs up if you like the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and most importantly, be safe.